Well, earlier this afternoon, the Federal Reserve surprised nobody by announcing that it was leaving interest rates unchanged at zero, but indicated that liftoff is still scheduled to happen in March, although nothing is set in stone. Everything is data dependent. Although if the Federal Reserve really was depending on the data, they would have raised interest rates a long time ago, and they would now be much higher than zero. The markets, though, initially were very happy with the Fed's announcement. They actually built on the lead that they had going in. The Dow Jones was up about 400 points, a little more than that, after the Fed's announcement came out. In fact, the market was strong all day following that big reversal that we had on Monday. We gave up some of those gains on Tuesday with a very volatile session, but today it was up right out of the gate. In fact, it looked like it might have been a down day because Microsoft reported earnings after the closing bell on Tuesday, which actually beat expectations, but the stock tanked about 5 or 6% immediately after that. But after the conference call, I guess they had some upbeat assessments of the future, and we had a reversal. And so the market opened with a very positive bias, and that continued until Jerome Powell actually started talking at the press conference. And somewhere midway through, that's when the market reversed. The Dow surrendered all of its gains. It ended up closing down 129 points, although at one point it was down better than 300 points, meaning we had almost an 800 point or maybe an 800 point decline from the highs to the lows. In fact, all of the major markets closed the day on their low close for the entire correction. We didn't take out the lows from Monday morning, but we closed lower than we did on Monday or Tuesday. The Dow is now down about 7.5% from its high. S&P 500 down 9.7%, so just above that official 10% correction threshold. The Nasdaq down 15.7%, now closer to a bear market than a correction. Russell 2000 19.5%, barely hanging on to correction territory, although it did officially move into bear market territory on Monday, even though it didn't close there. But it probably will close there. My bet would be this week. But again, the most speculative stocks in the Nasdaq having the hardest time. Again, look at the ARK Innovation Fund, down again today, closing at its low of the move down. The ARK Innovation Fund now down 57% from its high, and it may have some more problems tomorrow. We had the news from Tesla after the close. The earnings actually beat on the top and bottom. The initial reaction, though, somewhat like Microsoft, was a sell-off in Tesla. As I'm recording this podcast, Tesla has pared most of its losses, and now it's about unchanged or down maybe 0.5% from where it settled regular trading. But I have a feeling that this may not be the same situation as Microsoft. After all, Microsoft is an enormous company when it comes to actual earnings. And even though the stock is expensive, it trades at a PE of around 31, 32. I mean, that's too rich for my blood. But based on a lot of other tech stocks, it's value. But if you look at something like Tesla is well north of 100 times earnings. And in the environment that we're in now, where all of the high multiple names are being taken out behind the barn and shot, it's amazing that Tesla hasn't made the trip yet, because Tesla is only down about 25% from its peak, and it had a spectacular move up. So Tesla traders could end up being inspired by Microsoft and bid Tesla higher in the after hours trading. So it may open higher, who knows, tomorrow. But again, unlike Microsoft, I think it will be hard for Tesla to sustain those gains, because I think there's a lot of people who wouldn't want to look that gift horse in the mouth and take advantage of that opportunity to sell. So to me, there's a lot of downside risk in Tesla. And so I wouldn't be surprised if we get a different reaction in Tesla than we did in Microsoft, because it doesn't really matter that they beat earnings, because even with the beat, the stock is still massively overvalued. What's more important now than the earnings is the Fed and interest rates and the direction of monetary policy and the discount rate that's going to be applied to those future earnings, and the fact that a lot of investors don't want to gamble on the come anymore. They want to buy more of a sure thing in a value-oriented stock that is already delivering high earnings and paying high dividends, not speculate on a high growth company that may or may not deliver those earnings into the future. And if Tesla really breaks down, that is going to be a big, big problem for the ARK Innovation Fund, because it's 10% of the fund. And if we really start to see that ETF accelerate, the redemptions are going to accelerate. More people are going to want out. After all, ARK Innovation Fund is already down 3 times as much as the NASDAQ. And that's a lot of pain for most people to take. And if they want to throw in the towel and there's redemptions, Cathie Wood has no choice but to sell these stocks. As much as she's in love with these stocks, she has no choice. She's got to sell because her clients want their money back, and she's got to sell. And I think other hedge funds, especially the ones that specialize in short selling, they're like sharks. They're going to smell blood. They're going to know that Cathie Wood is going to be selling stocks. They know what she owns, and they're going to short what's in her portfolio so they can cover when she has to sell. So they can sell those stocks now, drive the price down, and then when Cathie Wood has to bail, she'll be selling at an even lower price, and that'll let the shorts cover, so they will front run her liquidations. But all of this is going to feed on itself and create like a cascade effect, a vicious circle, the opposite of the virtuous circle that drove the price of these stocks up as money was flowing into the ARK Innovation Fund, and then the inflows were used to bid up the stocks to increase performance, driving more inflows. Now it works in reverse. The weak performance results in outflows, which causes the weak stocks to be sold. They get even weaker, and that prompts even more outflows. And of course, as I said, the shorts start piling on because they smell some quick profits and they jump all over her portfolio, and it just makes it that much worse. One market, though, that held up strong today was the oil market. We almost traded $88 a barrel earlier this morning. That's the new 7 or 8 year high. We got to 87.95 was the high I saw. We closed, I think we're settled now at 87.09, up about $1.50. All the oil stocks were making new 52-week highs today. So again, the rotation is going on beneath the surface, and there were a lot of stocks in the value end of the spectrum that managed to finish the day with gains, although the European markets were closed before the U.S. market reversed. So we may see some selling tomorrow in Europe in line with what happened in the U.S. But again, there's a lot of noise in the market right now. But what's happening beneath the surface is extremely constructive if you're on the right side of this rotation, and that is the move out of growth and momentum into value and dividend-paying stocks. I made that move years ago, so I'm just waiting for the market to come to me as opposed to moving with the herd.
Before we continue, help us clicking that YouTube like button and subscribe now to our channel. This shows the algorithm that you valued this information, and it helps us spread that message. Sharing is caring. And now, let's continue.
Do you want to know one thing about crypto? I made over 3,000% in profit in a few weeks. Fact is, the traditional financial system, the traditional money system makes you poor, not rich. If you want to earn $500,000, $1 million, you have to wait until you're 50, 60, 70 in the traditional financial system, and you probably will still be broke. And you will be old. This is not a sexy combination, as you can imagine. But the question is, how can you start in crypto and make these profits? Where to invest? Where to start? My name is Gunnar, and I'm from Germany, as you can hear, and things are a little bit different in Germany. More about that later on. Fact is, there are lots of different cryptocurrencies. It's a gigantic universe where beginners and professionals get easily lost. But there is light at the end of the tunnel. There are 7 key steps you need to follow to become successful in this market. You have to know them, and if you fail one of them, it's literally impossible to succeed in this market. Just an example, one of the key points is your exchange, and one of the biggest are, for example, Binance and Coinbase. These are trusted and well-established exchanges, but, and this is a big but, You won't find the super profitable coins on those exchanges. The unknown super profitable coins that get gigantic profits are not traded on those kind of exchanges. They are traded on much smaller insider platforms that are barely known. And I can tell you what those super secret exchanges are and why they are so profitable. And another super important thing are the right information sources. The point is, the internet is gigantic. There are hundreds and hundreds of YouTube channels, blogs, pages, and much more. And there are also market makers and influencers. For example, Elon Musk, he is not a crypto guy, but the moment he recommended Dogecoin, it went through the roof, to the moon, so to say. But why did he recommend it? Where did he hear it from? He didn't hear it from newspapers. And believe me, he is listening to someone. But you have to know who, and you have to react before he is reacting. This is really important. And these are only 2 of the 7 steps you have to follow in order to be successful in crypto. And if you want to know all of these steps in much more detail, and if you want to have a comprehensive checklist, here's what you should do. There is a link below this video. Click on this link and you will get the opportunity to subscribe to my channel. Click on the link and you will see a video where I explain the next steps. So see you soon. Click on the link now. I'll see you there.